What's up, everybody? Welcome to Say What I Mean, and I'm your host, Amin Shah. Today am joined by a guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, Lindsay Frazier. Happy to be here today.
No doubt, no doubt. And don't forget, for all my people on YouTube, definitely trying to grow the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, click that notification bell, and all that good stuff. So, I'm excited about this show. The reason why this show came about, um, I knew Lindsay for a little bit, but she recently joined a podcast as a guest. You want to tell them what you was doing that podcast and what was the discussion?
Yes, I was a guest on this podcast called Hip Hop and Coffee, and this particular episode was the Nas appreciation episode, and I'm a huge Nas fan, so I was happy to do it. We talked about the new Nas album and some of his old albums, so I had a good time with that. So here I am now doing more
Yeah,
podcasts.
yeah. Me and homie, we gonna um collab on a show in the near future. We're gonna do a Jay-Z Blueprint show, and that's a classic album. And we definitely
It
wanna
is.
just discuss what was going on around that time because the Blueprint dropped September 11th, 2001. It was you know that whole time frame because I was a senior in high school. So we're going to get deep into that episode. But for today, we got a few topics we want to get to. We want to talk about what would a Lupe Fiasco Nas album look like? Would you be excited about that? Because that's a collaboration that people have been talking about for a long time, but just haven't happened as of now. There was even rumors of maybe they would do a collaboration album. How do you feel about collaboration albums in general? Also, I do this thing. I got a playlist on the channel. It's called Hip Hop Vision Board, and that's when we take hip hop inspirational quotes. Because for me, I'm a hip hop head. I have a bunch of hip hop quotes that almost like philosophies for me. So we're gonna get into that. But before we do that, there's a topic that I wanted to discuss. My wife, she's always on YouTube, right? So she follows
Mhm.
people as do I. We don't follow a lot of the same people, but a discussion came up on the Meg The Stallion um, situation, not just the Tory Lanez situation with her being shot in the foot, which that whole situation is a mess and unfortunate. But
A hot mess.
right, and somebody was mentioning, yes, I didn't even notice, but apparently Meg The Stallion gained a little bit of weight. I didn't know that. Maybe because I don't.
Me either.
Yeah, that's not really my cup of tea. Um, like that type of music. So I just on the edges with that. But anyway, the argument was being made that black women in general get unfairly criticized for looks. Um, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this because I do feel like black women get unfairly criticized a lot. However, I do have to bring this up. When you are artist or in the public and you are marketing sex appeal, people going to judge you with on your looks because that's what you advertising. I mean, her and Cardi B just came out with a song called WAP. You know what that stands
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
for. So when you marketing that type of stuff, people going to judge you off your looks. So I guess my question is it fair to judge artists off their looks if they marketing sex appeal? Um, and if you have a negative opinion on how they look, is that going too far, or should you just let them be?
Hmm. I mean, I think like even what you said earlier, people are gonna judge you regardless. So if you are marketing yourself as being as having appeal and you're making music with that type of sound and the lyrics, then you should expect it. Is it fair? Probably not, because you have artists who may be a little on the bigger side, like Lizzo. You know, a lot of people get at her about what she does and what she wears and the things she says in her music. But when you go back and talk about Cardi B, or you talk about Meg Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj or anybody else, it's a little bit different. So is it fair? Not really, but you should expect it as an artist if you have that type of music and that's what you're selling. That's my opinion on it.
Right, and I kind of agree with that. Just because if you are selling that type of music, that's the first thing people going to look for. They're not going to look for your bars, and even for somebody like Lizzo, like that's what she markets. She always try to say what would she like to say? I'm a bad bitch all the time. So like you're gonna get negative opinions if that's what you sell. You try and sell sex appeal. Some people are not gonna like the way you look. It just is what it is, you know. So for me, it's not wrong or right. It just comes with the territory. Right. Do I agree with everybody's opinion, especially with Meg Thee Stallion? No, I didn't even know she gained weight. You know, but at the same time, I can't be.
Well, she just got shot.
Right.
Meg Thee Stallion just got shot. I would expect anybody who got shot in the foot, or anybody who got shot, period, who's been out of work or anything, to gain a little bit of weight from being at home and eating.
Yeah. And let me be clear, I don't think it was Meg Thee Stallion herself that been complaining. It was just that other people been seeing comments and they commented on it. But you know what I told people, you can't, it's the internet. I mean, you have people that still think Tupac's alive to this day. So like you can't put every little thing on the internet and just have it as gospel, but that's just my opinion. Right. You had anything else to add to this before we close out and get to what we really want to talk about?
Well, not really, because like you said, it does come with the territory. It is what it is. If you market yourself as having sex appeal and that's what you come out as, because I feel like what you start out as is what people are going to remember you as. Like Trina, she started out high sexual energy. Her music was all sexual lyrics, and she tried to tone it down a little bit, like towards like the mid 2000s, but I still see Trina as that. It's sex. You're selling sex. That's what you do. I like it when I like it, when I have it on my playlist, and that just is what it is. So if she were to gain weight or her appearance was to change, then I might think something like, well, how is she going to sell records and you look like that? But it's all opinionated. They should just expect it as artists. And that's just my 2 cents.
Right.
And that could go for any artist, any female artist who is selling sex.
Yeah, Trina then said stuff I didn't like not too long ago, but I'm not even going to get into that, you know.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about, and
yeah.
But overall, her music is okay. But if she were to try to do like a gospel album or like try something new, or her appearance changed, I would be looking like,
you see,
okay, Trina.
I guess that's where I kind of disagree with that a little bit, because I feel like artists do have the right to change, because people change. You know, your interest as you get older, your interest changes. I wouldn't expect somebody to make the same music at 40 as they was making when they were 20. So
but like a drastic change like that, a drastic change like Trina going from one end and now she's doing gospel.
Yeah, I mean, gospel.
You would be okay with that, or you would roll with it?
I don't listen to her anyway, so I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and I'll probably just keep it pushing. And so I'm not like, I think where people probably would, you know, take more of an interest and maybe not feel it more if you was a fan of her music in the first place. You know, since I was never really a big fan of her actual bars and songs. I just feel like, oh, okay. So I'm not gonna listen to her gospel album. I wasn't listening to her regular album either. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't make me no difference, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Well, and because in my opinion, she's kind of like a mediocre artist. So it's not like when Kanye West was like, "Oh, I'm doing a gospel album," and I'm kind of like, "Okay, I can kind of listen. I can get with that a little bit." But like with Trina, it's like, "No, thank you." But that's just again my opinion.
yep. Now let's get to the main topic. So we was talking about this off camera, and I don't want to mislead people. It's not like this album's about to come out. But you know, people have been talking about Lupe and Nas album for a while. So I just want to gauge what would that sound like, and would you be excited about that? Because personally, I'll be ecstatic about it. These two are my favorite artists.
You'll be
Nas,
ecstatic.
Nas is probably my favorite rapper of all time. Lupe is up there for me. I think he's one of the best lyricists ever. So, you know, they have respect for each other. I would love to see it. What would you think that would sound like, and would you be excited for it?
Well, I think I would definitely be excited for it, even though I'm not a huge Lupe Fiasco fan. Like, I think I had Food and Liquor and The Cool, and like, I don't even know if he came out with anything else other than that.
Yeah, a lot
And
of
I'm not very well versed in it. He had more music after that?
a lot more. Yes.
Yeah, I'm bad. I'm sorry. But I do like him. I think it would be a cool album. But me being like a hyper Nas fan and super Nas fan, I think there are other artists that I would be more excited to hear from with Nas rather than Lupe. I feel like I can hear a song or two, but I don't need a whole album with Nas and Lupe Fiasco. To be honest, I think that I would rather hear a Nas and J. Cole album before I hear a Nas and Lupe Fiasco album. Or a Nas, everybody wants a Nas and AZ album. Like, we just want that to happen. But Nas and Lupe, I would be like, okay, I'll listen. But if it was Nas and J. Cole, I'll be like, yes, I'm ready. I will listen to this day and night. That's
Well,
just
you
the
know,
way I feel
J.
about
Cole,
them. How do you
J.
feel?
Cole, well, J. Cole and Kendrick is going to come with a combo album years ago, like about a decade ago, that never came out. So, but yeah, I would be extremely excited with Lupe and Nas, just because I think they can come up with some of the most creative songs ever. Because you know about Nas' creativity. Lupe have songs where he rapping as a cheeseburger. He just dope. So I would love to see the concept they could come up with together. I'll be very excited. I think people will want the Nas and AZ for nostalgia. But for me personally, I would rather just see another Firm album than just a Nas and AZ collab. You know, especially if they bring Mega back. You know, I know some people like Nature, some people like Nature, but off of King's Disease, it seemed like they do another Firm, it would be Nas, Nas, AZ, Foxy, and
With
that
Cormac,
the original Firm instead of AZ. I mean, instead of Nature. So I don't know. Like I would rather see Lupe and Nas than Nas and AZ personally.
But my thing is, I think Nas and Lupe, I think the album, I think it would be super creative, but I think it might be a little too chill. Like they have that same type of energy where I think that it would be too calm or too, I don't know. I just don't. I think Nas needs an opposite kind of. Like he needs that balance needs to be there. Like Nas and Lupe, they remind me of each other. Whereas Nas and J. Cole, that's two different sounds. You don't think so?
But AZ is calm too. AZ is not like a hype rapper.
He's not a hype rapper, but he's different. Like,
but
they go off of each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nas and Lupe don't have the same style or same flow or delivery. Like Lupe, a lot of times Lupe can do double time. Like he switch up his flows often. I think just the way they sound would be a good thing.
You think so?
I think so. I think it would be. Yeah, I think it would be a real dope album. And I think that Lupe could get the best creativity out of Nas too with the bars, because
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I do think that they could really play off of each other very well and be very creative. But I don't know. I just would be more excited with a J. Cole. Like, I don't know. It would be like a new school, old school type of thing, maybe. I don't know. Even though Lupe is not. How old is Lupe? Is he considered a new school or late 2000s or?
He came out in the early 2000s. So, he's like what, 38?
Yeah, so
but J. Cole,
so he's a little bit younger than Nas.
J. Cole's not that young either now. Like J. Cole's like 35. So it's not like he's in his 20s.
Yeah, he's like 35. Yeah, I guess.
Don't get me wrong though.
I don't know. Well, what I heard about the album is supposed to be. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be mad at a J. Cole Nas album. I'll be with that too. But like, just would be personally where the creativity go. Just Nas and Lupe. It's not a right or wrong answer to this question either. It's just what you prefer.
Right. Yeah, but I'm really particular when it comes to doing entire albums. Like, if you're going to do an entire album, the two people involved have to really be a team. And I can see like 2 or 3 Nas Lupe songs, but a whole album? No, I don't know. And what I heard about the album was it was supposed to be Nas and Lupe playing off of some Amy Winehouse samples or something, like something to do with Amy Winehouse in this project too. I don't know how true that is. And that sounds great.
Yeah. I was throwing that out the window because we don't even know that project is going to happen. We don't know. Just a general project in general, would you be excited about? Well, let me ask you this too.
So I was lukewarm.
What do you feel like collab? What do you feel about collab albums in general? Like, you had the Jada and Fab, Jason versus Freddie. You go back to Watch the Throne with Jay-Z and Kanye. What do you had the Carters that came out last year? Like, what do you feel about these collab albums, Drake and Future? Because it seemed like that's more of a trend now. Do you like them, or do you think people are going overboard with it?
Overall, I like collab albums if the people together, again, are an actual team and they play off of each other. I don't just want to hear just because y'all like each other or y'all friends just to do an album together. Like, I think the best collab album so far that I've heard is Jay-Z and Kanye West. And I am not a huge Jay-Z or Kanye West fan. I am a Kanye West fan, but not really Jay-Z like that. But I thought that they really worked well together and played off of each other very well. And I liked it. I like the Jay-Z and R. Kelly, like R&B and hip hop, I think works really well. Future and Drake, perfect. And I do not like Future at all. But I thought they did a good album together. They played well off of each other. Now, just because you think, oh, we like each other or we cool, I don't think that you necessarily need to do a whole album together. Songs, I'm cool with, but whole albums, no. You really gotta. It really has to be a good relationship there, a good blend.
I think people
Of
should do it
talent.
because you should get more like on the mixtape scene, like Uncle Murder and Mano did like a lot of collab mixtape projects together. You had Benny the Butcher and 38 Special. Had Stabbed and Shot, what was Fire
38
Underground.
Special, they do good together. They work well together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody can't do that.
Right. In the mainstream, you're starting to see a little bit more though. I think it just depends on the vision. Like, I wasn't feeling that the Nasir album at all with Kanye doing all the production. I don't even know you can count that as a collab album though. And it might have something to do too. I wasn't feeling
I don't count that as a collab.
Okay. And the fact that I wasn't even really trying to listen to that because I'm still not feeling Kanye at all. So he kind of like got thrown he's like always to me. If I want to hear something from Kanye, I go back to the old college dropout days, or late registration.
Yeah.
Man, I'm
yeah.
done. Yeah. And Watch the Throne too, because that
is what it is.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
I told you, it's a good album. It's great. It's really good. It's really well put together.
I just won't say it's the best collab album, but it was. I messed with it. It was good. It was definitely good.
What's your favorite collab album? What's the best so far?
I don't know. It's something I'll have to really think about it. Watch the Throne would be up there because it had the impact. I'm trying to think how many collab albums have there actually been to, where they not a group. Like, Mobb Deep is not a collab album. I wouldn't count Hall and Nash where, West Side Gun and Conway.
I mean, would you consider, well, I don't know if they're considered
Go ahead.
What about like Talib Kweli and Mos Def, like when they did Black Star? Is that Black Star?
Yeah.
Was they considered? Yeah. Wait, was it? Who was it? Is it Talib Kweli and Royce? Yeah, no, is it them? Who is it?
Yeah. It's Mos Def and Kweli. That was Black Star.
Mos Def and Kweli, and then I thought DJ Premier and Royce da 5'9" did something too.
Yeah, they did Barzam. Yeah, it was called the Barzam. That was dope. But then that goes into a whole other discussion. Would you consider it a collab album when it's the MC and a producer? Because if that's the case, you consider Premier and Royce.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you consider Premier and Royce, you have to consider.
So technically, it was
clear a collab album too with Kanye. If that's the case.
Right. And I don't consider that a collab album. I just consider that Kanye West doing his production and his Nas's body of work. And even so, I still don't even consider that. I mean, it only has 7 songs, so wouldn't it be considered like an EP? Because I think of it as Kanye West presents Nasir. That's what when I think about that, that's how I think about it. Because I wasn't exactly happy with that album as much as I wanted to be. I have songs that I like on it, but
I just try to forget that album.
It's not that bad. Adam and Eve was good.
Yeah, Adam and Eve was okay. I like Adam and Eve. Like some of the songs I could listen to, but it just didn't give me that feel. And to be honest, I haven't really fully enjoyed the Nas album since Life is Good, to be honest.
Well, what has he come? So he had Nasir in the Lost Tapes too. So you don't really you wasn't feeling the Lost Tapes too?
It was nah, especially considering the name title, because Lost Tapes, the first Lost Tapes is a classic,
Yes,
classic.
absolutely.
Drunk by Myself, Blaze of 50, Black Zombies, just
Yeah.
classic songs. And Lost Tape 2 are just like mid grade, really. And I like Nas, and Nas is my favorite rapper. I like I like King's Disease better than Lost Tapes too. I'm a
You
feeling
like
King.
King's Disease better? Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do you think you like it better? You like it better because of the production, or
production is.
what about it do you like better
I
in
think
comparison to the Lost Tapes 2?
I think the production is better, and Lost Tapes is exactly that. It's songs that didn't make album cuts and
Right. And that's what I
songs.
was gonna say. Like, I guess you can't have too high of a standard
Right.
for like lost music, you know.
But he did set the bar with the first Lost Tapes. So like I said, it was the
Yeah,
same
he
thing,
did.
but that was a classic.
Oh, I
Um,
love that album so
and
much.
don't get me wrong, even with King's Disease, it's still not. It's not bad, but it's
Hmm.
not getting that feel. It's not really giving me that feel. Like it's cool to me, but it's too early for me to really judge the album because you can never judge an album off of a few listens. You gotta let it soak with you. So maybe I feel different next week or something, but as of now, the album is cool. You know.
King's
Um,
Disease. I love it. I love every song almost. And then he's calling, so the last song on it with ASAP Ferg, and I have no idea how to pronounce his name, Fivio, whatever his name is. A
mhm.
new school dude called Spicy, and he's calling that a bonus track. That's the only song that I'm like, I don't really whatever, but I'm like, oh, it's a bonus track. So he just kind of threw it on there. But everything else, I love it. Album arrangement, love it. Everything flowed perfectly.
Is it giving you that same feel as Life is Good?
I think so. Yeah. Now that
Okay.
I'm listening to it, getting into it, because it takes me a couple weeks to get through an album, especially a Nas album. You cannot listen to a Nas album in a week and totally analyze it. You gotta, well, for me, I have to give it time. I gotta listen to the lyrics, go look at the lyrics, and really digest each song
That,
and see how it makes me feel week to
that
week.
that's dope. But like for me, like with most Nas album, I know if I like it right away or not, though. If I'm really feeling it.
Why? Don't tell me it's based off the beat.
No, not who listens to Nas.
Like what?
Nobody, nobody say like, yo, I go to Nas listen to the fire beats. Nobody say that.
Y'all
So
hating, hating,
no,
hating.
like Nas is a artist, but like people not into Nas for the beats. They into it. They into Nas for
For
his
the
story.
lyrics, for the
He's one.
stories, the lyrics, all of that.
He's top 5 storytellers of all time. You have to put
Yes.
him, Slick Rick, Biggie. You know,
Biggie. Yep. Mm-hmm.
all great, just great storytellers.
I
And
would
just
even add like Prodigy to that list. Prodigy, Ghostface Killer.
Grimy tells Ghostface, another person with the creative storytelling. Like
Yes.
he could do some hood stories and the projects, and then he could go make a song like chilling with SpongeBob in the ocean.
Right.
You
He could
know,
do that.
so yeah, Ghost. We got to put respect on Ghost's name when it comes to that as well.
And
But
I think a lot of people forget about him, but he is like up there in
oh,
storytelling land.
definitely, and his style just real unique. So I like definitely shouts out to Ghost. But nah, like I was saying, like Life is Good. I knew I liked it right away. It wasn't. I knew it wasn't a classic Nas album, but I was like, this is a pretty good album.
Hmm.
I really liked Untitled. That was Untitled is slept on.
So that was
Great.
an album that I had to revisit. I liked it. What year? That year was what?
Oh wait,
2008.
Untitled.
So I was still 19 years old. Um, I listened to it. I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't completely understand everything that I was listening to.
Right.
So like in my older days, like nowadays, I go back to it and I'm like, I really appreciate him for this album. Like it's just like it's political, it's educational,
Yeah.
it's uplifting. The beat, I think the beats and the production was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It fits him like
It
Testify. I
did.
love Testify. We Are Not
Yeah,
Alone.
that's my
Fried,
favorite. We Are Not Alone.
Fried Chicken.
Fried
Even though like
chicken.
some of the songs, it was kind of funny. It was creative. That's why I think him and Lupe would go together because remember the song on a title when he had the poet on there and he's like niggas like roaches,
Yeah.
like and I can imagine what him and Lupe can mess with because I know you don't listen to Lupe like that, but Lupe will rap like he'll just do something crazy creative like you never even thought about it. He have a song about geometry, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like yeah, just bring it back full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I
With
mean,
no doubt in my mind, I think Lupe will be able to deliver on any Nas song, album, anything. So if they did do a project, I would definitely listen. But
and I gotta get you up on Lupe too because you said you haven't listened to nothing from him since the Cool. That was like
I
oh
haven't. Forgive me, as a hip hop head, I have not listened beyond that with Lupe.
like check out when you get a chance. Check out Youth and Testarossa album. It's a dope album.
Okay, I
Def-
will.
Definitely check that out. I mean, not all his albums was great. A lot of his fans didn't like Lasers. That was the album he came out with after the Cool. Some people didn't. A lot of people didn't like Food and Liquor too. But Youth and Testarossas.
It
Oh
was
yeah,
good. Okay,
first
I'm gonna
track
check it out.
spitting like 9 minutes straight.
Yeah. Okay.
No
All
pause.
right. Yeah.
Lupe is definitely the truth. All right, so before we get out of here, I do this thing. I have a playlist. I call it my hip hop vision board. Why is that? Because
Mm.
I'm a hip hop head. I grew up on hip hop. There are the certain quotes that have lived with me since I was a kid, and even as an adult, where I'm like, this is part of my vision board. And for those of you who don't know or never used a vision board, it's kind of like, you have these sayings or phrases or things that you want to accomplish on like a notepad or something like that, or like a sticky, and it's right on your board. And it's supposed to keep you focused and something that you can model your life off of. So it's a lot of stuff in hip hop. Like everybody focused on the negative because there's a lot of ignorant content in hip hop. There's a lot of positivity too. So I want to just bring that to the light. My previous hip hop vision boards, I used the famous Tupac line. They have money for wars but can't feed the poor. And it just like, that's stick with me because it's still true to this day. It's funny what they find money for, and you can just go outside of war. Like, the conversation with Black people have been about reparations, and they say, there's not the money for it, right? But yet, anytime these big companies get in trouble, they can find the money to bail them out. Like they just spent trillions of dollars. So you can't tell me you don't have the money. That means you just don't want to do it with us.
Right.
Give us what you should owe, and it's more than about slavery. I'm not even going to get into that conversation because it's not even the show off on that. But I'm going to reel it back. But and I also use Loaded Lux. He's a famous battle rapper. One of the best battle rappers of all time. He used this phrase, I stay ready. That way I don't have to get ready. He always, that's not even a bar, but he always stresses that.
Yeah.
I'm going to add another one today. But I want you to join in this practice. So what would be on your hip hop vision board? You don't have to give all of them, but if you want to give one, if you really feeling yourself, you can give two, Go ahead.
Okay. So there's this Nas quote, of course it's Nas, that really stuck with me. And like I've been a Nas fan since I was like 11, 12 years old, grammar school age. And I used to listen to his music, and I started out with Stillmatic and then went backwards and like did Illmatic and then It Was Written. So It Was Written is one of my favorite Nas albums too. And on his song called The Message, he has a quote where he says, "A thug changes and love changes and best friends become strangers." And that really stuck with me because it's so true. Like throughout life, you're gonna have changes that you're not gonna expect. You might think that you're gonna be friends forever with somebody, and you're not. You might think a relationship, like a romantic relationship, will last, and it won't. And that really stuck with me. And you just kind of keep that in the back of your head as you progress through life. So I always think back when I'm, ending a friendship or relationship or something happens, and it's like changes happen, adapt, and move forward. So that's one of my favorite hip hop quotes.
I love that song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It Was Written too. That's one of my favorite albums. Oh, shout out to my cousin in the chat. He said love the combo. Salute to you. For me, and those of you that know me, they probably gonna roll their eyes because I always say this. They're like, "Oh, not this again." But most of y'all never heard it, so it's gonna be new for y'all. It's off a mixtape series. We was talking about J. Cole earlier. So for those you don't know, just because I think a Nas and Lupe album would be better than a Nas and J. Cole album doesn't mean I don't mess with Cole. Cole is definitely one of my favorite artists. Definitely. I've been rocking with Cole since the warm up. But those J. Cole fans, I know y'all know about the warm up. And Friday Night Lights, the mixtapes before his first album, Cold World. But he had, after Cold World came out, before Born Sinner, his second album, he had this series called Truly Yours. And y'all should check it out if I haven't heard it. Like, it had a lot of good songs on it. But he had this song called Crunch Time. And on it, he said a few things. One of them is nobody see your vision. They walking around blindfolded, which, I is often, when you're thinking about different stuff and you're trying to convey that to people, sometimes they just not feeling that because they're not in that space yet and just can't relate. So I love that. And then one of the very next lines in bars is, only thing worse than death is a regret-filled coffin. And I feel that definitely. Like, that's kind of how I'm rolling. Like, that was a deep line, that Cole, and like, it's so true. Like, death is scary. But what's worse than that is a regret-filled coffin. When you could have did stuff and right after that, after the regret-filled coffin line, he says, basically pursuing your dreams or always wonder what if. You don't want to be wondering what if, if
right.
you try something and don't succeed, that's fine. A lot of successful people then try that didn't succeed at first and then, popped off with something. And even after they're successful, sometimes, you see people try ventures and it don't work out. That happens all the time. But, they went for it. So that's one of the things that you never want to do, have a regret-filled coffin. So that's definitely me. Like, every day I try to think about that.
That's a good quote. That's really good. What song was that off of?
It's called Crunch Time. It's off True War. Yeah. Have you listened to that mixtape series?
Not that one. I know about Friday Night Lights, but not that one that you're talking about.
Yeah, it came out right before Born Sinner, his second album.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really dope songs. He had like, it was three parts. It was Truly Yours 1, 2, and Truly Yours 3 was basically like the bonus tracks of Born Sinner. But yeah, Born, like, dope songs. He freaked out over a few Lauryn Hill joints. He had a song called Kenny Lofton with Jeezy. Yeah, I know J. Cole Jeezy might sound like an odd combination, but really dope song. Yeah, check that out if y'all haven't checked that out. Yeah.
I will. There's another quote that I like a lot from Nas off of Stillmatic. So the intro. So I'm always here for Nas intros. Any album, I want to hear the intro. I'm excited to hear the intro. I'm always looking forward to it. So my favorite Nas intro to his album is the Stillmatic intro. So at the end of the song, he goes, "Blood of a slave, heart of a king." And I just love that. Like, that would be a tattoo if I ever got a tattoo. Of course, I would flip it to Queen, but I use that as like a tagline on my Instagram page. Like I say, "Blood of a slave, heart of a queen." And automatically, if you a Nas fan, you know exactly where I got that from. But that's like a banner. Like, that would be a banner anywhere I would go. So that's another quote that I just thought about that I really like from him. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite intros too. Stillmatic.
Yeah.
Dope.
He went in on that intro.
But you know what I think about right after he says that line, you hear gunshots and you hear FJZ right
right. They're right after that. I know.
Yeah. But you gotta check out some Jay stuff. I know you say you're not the biggest Jay fan, but Jay got some stuff too. Yeah. You didn't like 444?
I don't hate him, but
You didn't like 444?
I didn't get through the whole album. I was just like, well, I could just listen to It Was Written. Same stuff. Same concepts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you listened to Reasonable Doubt?
Yes. I finally listened to Reasonable Doubt. I can't name like the songs or the tracks exactly, but Regrets, I really like that song from Jay-Z. That's like my top, because my favorite Jay-Z album is The Blueprint, but I really like that song Regrets from Jay-Z, and Can I Live? That's
Can I Live's
one of my favorites. Regrets, yeah.
Can I Live is my favorite Jay-Z track, but I like Regrets too.
It's a good song. I give him that.
Doubt is fire. You know, you had The Evos, Friend or Foe. I mean, yeah, you gotta do it. The Volume series, some classic songs on Volume 1. You know, yeah, check out some of Jay stuff. The Black Album.
I did like the Black Album, so I have a copy of that. But of course, I'm a Nas fan, but I do like Jay-Z. Like, I ain't gonna act like I don't. I do.
Yeah. But you know, I ain't even gonna get at you about you hating on Distant Relatives album. I'm gonna let you slide on that today. Yeah.
You making me feel bad. Like, I need to go back and listen to this. Let me go back and go through it again. Because I went to his show when he came to Buffalo and with Damian Marley at UB. I was there. I just really wanted to see him, but I was there, kick back, watching, whatever. But is that my go-to album? No, but
definitely get that another spin. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. Any last thoughts that you want to convey?
No, not really. Just tell all your followers, follow me at Happy Juice on Instagram, HAPPIIJUICE, and Lindsay Frazier on Facebook if you want.
All right. Don't forget, spread the video, spread the word, subscribe to the YouTube channel, go to the Say What I Mean page on Facebook. And like I said, you know, we definitely growing. We out here working. We're working, you know. So thanks for joining me.
No problem.
Peace out.
See you later.